everyone, it's Laura here from See Clear Counselling again, and welcome to video 5 in my series on negative automatic thoughts. So today we're going to be looking at core beliefs and what they have to do with negative automatic thoughts. If you haven't seen my previous videos, then please do go to my Facebook page or my Instagram page or my YouTube channel, all under See Clear Counselling. Or you can go to my website, www.seeclearcounselling.co.uk, and I've put them all into some blogs for you to have a look at. So over the weeks, we've been looking at what negative automatic thoughts are. And essentially what we've been doing is peeling back the layers, almost like an onion, peeling back the layers of that onion, because underneath those layers is the core, our core belief, which we're going to talk about today. So what's happened is when we've looked at negative automatic thoughts, we've looked at what they are, how they have an influence on our emotions and our feelings and our behaviours. So we peeled back that layer. Then we peeled back a further layer to look at when we're in certain situations, how those negative automatic thoughts can cause us to have a certain reaction to a situation. And if we're having negative automatic thoughts, then our reaction to that situation can be quite negative. We then peel back a further layer by saying that actually if we could reframe those thoughts into a more positive way of thinking, then we may be able to change our emotions, our feelings and our behaviours in that particular situation. And we also looked at keeping what we call a gratitude diary to get us thinking along a more positive bias. So we were moving ourselves from this negative bias over to this positive bias, almost like moving ourselves from that negative mindset into that positive mindset. So at the core of all of this is probably our core beliefs, because what happens is those negative automatic thoughts have to be fed from somewhere. They have to come from somewhere. And what they're probably coming from is those core beliefs. And those core beliefs are based on all the experiences that we have had throughout our life. So if we've had experiences that have given us constant evidence that makes us believe these negative things about ourselves, then they have created these negative automatic thoughts. So let's give you an example so you can understand that a little bit more. So the other week I gave you an example about my homework from my course when I was procrastinating and was avoiding doing my homework. Now, my attitude to homework is long held, and it comes from way back in my school days. Makes sense? School days and homework. Now, at school, I had a real difficulty with maths. I struggled a little bit struggled quite badly with maths, and my understanding of maths was very difficult to grasp. And I would come home from school with my maths homework. And my dad, being an engineer, understood maths very well, and so would help me with my maths homework. He was being a good father. He was doing what a father wanted to do and help his child with her homework. The only problem was I didn't really understand what my dad was trying to tell me. I didn't understand the numbers. He could see the formulas and say to me that these formulas were easy to understand because once you got the formula, then you could work out the answer. But I couldn't see the formulas. And so I used to become very upset doing my maths homework, and my dad used to become very frustrated with me because I couldn't understand it. And those hours that we would sit going through my maths homework were excruciating for me. As I say, my dad was doing the best that he could to help me through, but I was struggling really badly, and I started to feel that I was useless, I was not good enough, because I couldn't understand it the way he felt that I should. So for a long time I was scared of doing my homework. You know, 2 years of doing GCSEs and really not knowing what I was doing and coming home with homework and my dad trying to help me. That anxiety and that fear would always rise on the night that I had maths homework. And it fed into some other subjects as well. I struggled with science and things as well, quite similar, logical kind of things. So I kind of held on to that, and the evidence that was being given to me every week when I did my homework was that I wasn't good enough, I was pretty useless, and that, you know, I was stupid compared to other people because I couldn't understand this. And so the dread for my homework would rise every week. So I've had to learn through the years that actually that's not true about all homework. And I've done courses and various other things throughout the years where I've had homework. And I do very often get this procrastination around the homework and I avoid it. And I always have to pull myself back to realise that that feeling is because it's taking me right back to those school days of my homework, sitting there really not understanding and crying with my dad and my dad being frustrated. So those feelings almost come up. And so that feeling feeds my negative automatic thoughts. So that core belief then gets my negative automatic thoughts flowing. My negative automatic thoughts come along to protect me and say to me, you know, all this evidence that we have that this is a bad place for you to be. And so I start believing those negative thoughts that I'm useless and I can't do this, and therefore I avoid doing the homework. But what I've had to do is gather the evidence against that core belief. So through the diaries that you've been keeping over these past few weeks, if you look back, you may well start to identify there's some negative automatic thoughts that are quite common that you're having. Maybe that I can't cope, that I'm not good enough, that this is going to be a disaster. And if you think back, you may start to realise the experiences that you've had through life that you've based those negative automatic thoughts on. And so it will be your core belief feeding those negative automatic thoughts. And what we need to start to do is to start to gather evidence for a new core belief. And over the years, I've had to gather that evidence that actually I am capable, I am good enough, that I'm not useless and I can do my homework. And actually sitting doing my homework by myself is okay. And I'm not going to end up in tears and I'm not going to get frustrated. And so over the years, I've built that evidence on homeworks that I've had since my school days. And so when I feel those negative thoughts coming, I can say, actually, that's not true. And I am capable, I am good enough, and actually, I can get on with my homework. So that's essentially what core beliefs are. They are beliefs that we've built up over the years because of the evidence that we've been given that actually gives that core belief truth. And if we don't like that core belief and the negative thoughts that it gives us, we need to look at a way to be able to change it. And the way to change it is to feel what new core belief we would like. So mine was, I no longer want to be afraid of homework, and I want to know that I am good enough to do the homework and I can do this. So I gathered the evidence over the years that that was true. And that would mean that I had more evidence that I was good enough against the evidence that I had that I wasn't. So over the next few weeks, over the next week, I want you to look at the diary that you've been keeping over the last few weeks, see if you can identify any particular theme in your negative automatic thoughts, and then think back to any experiences that you've had in your life that could well contribute to you having a core belief that fits those negative thoughts. And then next week, we'll look a little bit more deeply into core beliefs and look at how we can turn those core beliefs around for us. and that will ultimately stop us building up those layers towards those negative automatic thoughts that we've been having. So check in with me next week and we'll do a little bit more of a deep dive into core belief, but in between, just see if you can start to identify some of your own core beliefs, and hopefully together we'll lead a more mentally healthy life. Thank you.